Greetings, comrades. The Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Mtswaledi, this morning addressed a media conference on issues pertaining to his department of interest to Zimbabweans and also to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits. The issues that relate to investigations that are ongoing. Remember that in the previous video we said that Parliament was informed that about 300,000 visas or permanent residents are said to be fraudulent, and there's an investigation that is ongoing. We did discuss this also in another video that I think the investigation starts from 2004, somewhere there. And we said that you need to be careful if you did not acquire your document in the right channel, you'll be in trouble. I don't know what you have to do, but if you acquired your document not through the proper channel, you are in trouble. And what is the proper channel, which we need to clarify? Because it does not mean that when you go to an official at the Department of Home Affairs, you apply, they assist you to apply, you get issued with the permanent residence. And you say, because I went inside at Home Affairs, we've had so many such stories, I went inside Home Affairs. That is not the correct procedure. So the correct procedure for one to qualify for a permanent residence is that you would have came in South Africa. You were issued with a visa, be it a work visa, a study visa, or business visa. Right, say it's for 5 years. After 5 years, you renew the visa. Just put it as a general work visa. You renew that visa after 5 years. It is then that you apply for a permanent residence. But there are instances where someone that never had any visa at all, and then from the blue, they've a permanent residence. There must be a paper trail to say, how did you acquire your permanent residence? Remember also, I think it was last year, in another video, we said that people in the Department of Home Affairs, they steal the sticker in the department. You get to the office, in any of the Home Affairs offices, they pretend to be taking down your information. They will make you sign documents. They will be acting as if they are punching your information in the system, whereas they are not. Maybe the person is simply playing games on their computer, right? After you have gone, they simply put your documents in the dustbin. But a sticker would now be in your passport. At times you go through a third person who acts as an agent. We've had people that have paid 15,000, 20,000 or so. And that is then you will be having a fake document. So if you are one of those, the minister says they will be catching up with you shortly, or at some point they will catch up with you at some point. In the last video then that we did, we spoke of one Mr. Kutagwashe Mpofu, who works as a Chief Finance Officer, CFO, of in Northwest Development Corporation. Northwest Development Corporation, this is a government agency, entity. Yes, he is in court because he's challenging the minister and the department that he should not be deported because he has a permanent residence. So the minister then in the press conference clarified, he says that PR is fraudulent. That's what the minister said, that it is PR by permanent residence by Mr. Mpofu is fraudulent. It then went to speak about other pastors, like Pastor Bushiri, and also know the pastor, can't remember his name, Eastern Cape, was arrested. They all had permanent residence. But the minister says they are all fraudulent. So you might have, it does not mean that if you know a person who's a pastor or is a PR, it is fraudulent. No. The minister only mentioned the two. So what we're simply saying is that you need to be careful on how you got your permanent residence. So if you are planning to apply for a permanent residence, and this is the simple procedure that you must follow, as already outlined, that you cannot just from the blue apply for a permanent residence. It's not possible. You must be on one of the visas, right? A general work visa, critical skills visa, you get to renew it. You then apply through VFS, you submit your documents at VFS, and then the Department of Home Affairs will make a decision on that. The minister also then clarified the issue of which is problematic, not only to Zimbabwe exemption permit holders, but to people that are renewing their visas. It takes, I've seen people taking long to get the outcome. So if you are carrying a receipt, the minister, as was explaining, says the receipt is an automatic extension because you have a receipt that you have applied. But what we still need to clarify, which is the question that we get asked, is your permit expired, let's assume in June 2023 as an example. That's not a special permit, but another visa expired in June 2023. You have applied for a renewal. It has not been issued, and you are still carrying a receipt. And the question, which at this stage you do not have an answer on, is can you then travel across the borders? We'll try to get more clarity on that, but the minister said it acts as an extension, so they need to explain so that it answers a lot of people that are carrying receipts proving that they applied. They are waiting for an outcome, whether they are able then to travel. And then the minister clarified the issue of the court case, that they need the constitutional court to clarify certain issues in terms of consultations. So they says they will go up to the constitutional court. What was of also interest was that about 80,000 holders of Zimbabwe exemption permits have applied for waivers out of 178,000. Remember that in 2017, 178,000 had applied for or were issued with the Zimbabwe exemption permit. So the minister said 80,000 or so have applied for waivers. What of course is a concern to us, which we wrote last week to the Department of Home Affairs. One of the gentlemen that we wrote the email to seek them to clarify was part of the media or press conference which was addressed by the minister. Of course, our concern is that people that applied for waivers in 2022, they are still not issued, and they have serious challenges, particularly in renewing their licenses with the Department of Transport, because the Department of Transport would want a permit or a visa in the passport, not the receipt. So we wrote to them. We hope that they are going to respond on why there is a delay in the issuing of the waivers or making a decision on the applications that were made in 2022. We're not talking about 2023, but 2022. And we're hoping that by now, everyone that would have applied in 2022 would have received their outcome so that they are able to move or to apply then for other general visas as offered. The other issue that we raised again in the email that we sent to them is the issue of the rejections of general work visas, because our understanding is that if you apply for a waiver, you get granted the waiver, it's positive, the outcome is positive. We thought it then does not require you to submit, or the applicant to submit, the certificate from the South African Qualifications Authority. But of late we are seeing people that have been rejected where the reasons for rejection says that you did not submit your evaluation certificate or certificate from the South African Qualifications Authority. So we need to get clarity on that. Otherwise, I'm sure you have seen the press conference by the minister. It is available on YouTube. Just check it out and also listen to what the minister said. Please like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, have a good day. My team Liverpool lost in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup to Manchester United, but that's the that's the game of football. Otherwise, good evening.